right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing for Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. My name's Doug McGibbon. I'm the Special Magistrate, and we'll get started in just a moment because it's 5:34 and we can. All right, most of our cases today are either going to be fine assessment or violation hearings. Hopefully everyone has checked in so they can pull your file and get you out. We'll probably end up with strays at the end of this part of the meeting with people who haven't checked in, but we'll get through that. The first thing we're going to do is swear everyone in, and we're going to do this multiple times as people come in. So everyone who's here, raise your right hand, say I do when we're done. Does everyone swear or affirm the testimony they're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, when you hear your name being called, please go up to that microphone over there. Tell us who you are, what your address is. The code officer will try to get some documents into evidence. They will testify about the proposed code issues, and then you guys get to ask them questions if you wish. You can put on witnesses if you want to, and at the end of all that, I get to make a decision. That flips when we get to the fine reduction hearings, which are on the last page or so of the docket. Those people have been through a violation hearing and a fine assessment hearing. They're asking for relief, so they get to go first. I think I've hit all the highlights, so please take it away, Village of Royal Palm.
Thank you, Special Magistrate. My name is Amity Barnard. We're going to start on the agenda with fine assessment hearings, case 25-0008, 1116 Grandview Circle, Bertina Elsine and Garentia R. Beauvoir.
Good evening, Special Magistrate. My name is Andrew Armienti. I'm a co-inspector with the Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance.
Starting with an easy one? How nice.
Sir.
Ina.
Last name?
Elsine.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the previous order finding violation. The previous order. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
No.
All right, admitted without objection. Is this going to be a finding of fact? Or do we have a fine involved?
Yeah, they were out of compliance for a short period of time.
Okay. Is it complied now?
Yes, it's complied out now, but
I don't have that notes. Wasn't on the changes.
it's they were out of compliance from 5/2 to 5/22.
Okay, so 20 days.
Oh, it didn't change, I see.
So
So it's 525 and not continuing, a total of 21 days.
Okay, so they say you fixed it, but you fixed it late. So I get to do a fine because that's all I can really do in this.
Yeah, your previous order was from April 16th, and it required the respondents to comply by May 1st. As Mr. Armienti just testified, the compliance date was May 23rd.
Okay. I guess the only thing I can ask is, did you fix it before the 23rd?
Yes, I did. It was
And
fixed.
can you prove that somehow? Do you have a picture? Do you have any conversations?
Yes, it was somebody my boyfriend had a conversation with. He was going back and forth talking to him, telling him all he had to do was fix it. So he has those messages. I can ask him to forward it to me. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm here, you're here.
Okay, yeah.
This is the time.
Yeah, because he handles all those, yeah.
Because, guys, we like to show off our
Yeah,
stuff
because
when we're done.
I don't really do the outside.
So I would take a picture and go, here, honey, look at this, and you could see the date on the picture, and that could cut down a few days of fine, but if I can't get a date out of it, I really have to just go with it. Is this homesteaded property?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to have a $525 fine that's going to sit there until you either sell it or you pass on it. So
So The record is clear. They called for a reinspection to confirm compliance. So they asked the village to
Yeah,
come
no,
do
they
a
can
compliance
ask
inspection. They could have called at any time when they were in
No,
compliance.
I'm
But
just trying to figure out if they had a little bit of proof that could have cut down the 21 days to 18 or 15 or whatever it is. But we really don't have anything here, so I'm just going to have to go with the 525. But as I said, it's just going to sit there on the property if it's homesteaded. They can't foreclose on it. It will get satisfied when you sell it or during the probate. So, if you want to pay it off someday, that's great too. Otherwise, 525, no continuing is granted.
Okay.
Okay?
thank you. Moving next to page 2, second one down, 25-0129, 10162 Yeoman Lane, Robert J. Mellis.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 3 Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
And your name, sir?
Robert Mellis.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the previous order finding violation. The previous order finding violation. Page 2 of that order. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
Not the pictures. The only document I have is this. I
Okay, well,
don't know.
they have to go through
That's
certain
this.
things
It's
to,
the same thing.
Okay, fine.
yeah, they have to show you've been served somehow, whether it's by posting or by signing a green card on a certified mail.
Holding a copy of your order, which is the same thing that you have.
All right, so I've looked at the pictures a little bit. I think the one I saw that was a little closer to the fence, that was one with the palm tree. Yeah, right,
Yeah,
that one.
Special Magistrate, that's the dead palm tree.
We have a dead frond. I see there's another picture with something blue-whitish on the sidewalk. That's how you tell that it's stained, I suppose.
Yeah, it's severely stained from the walkway, the driveway, the sidewalk, the driveway apron, and then the front of the structure as well.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mellis, so they're saying that the structure has staining, the driveway sidewalks, aprons are dirty, and you have a dead palm tree. Is that kind of right?
Yeah, it could stand to be pressure washed, sir.
I went through my receipts the other day. I found my pressure washer receipt from 2017. Surprised I haven't killed that thing yet. Usually die after 4 or 5 years. So
Assessment hearing, Special Magistrate, so you've
Oh, I
already
know.
found him in violation, and he was...
he hasn't cured it yet, so we're
Correct.
going to
You
start a
required him
fine.
to comply by 5/1, and so today we're asking for a fine of $1,025 and continuing at $25 a day because it's been out of compliance for 41 days.
All right,
Sir,
okay.
this notice to appear tonight is the first I've gotten any record of it. And I found this laying on my front lawn in a plastic bag.
Okay, well, normally they have to serve you one of 2 ways, and they usually try both of them. First is they send you a certified mailing. And do you send regular on these things as well, or just the certified? So they'll send you a regular mail and a certified mail. So you should get the regular mail even if you don't sign for the certified mail. The second thing they do is if you don't sign for the certified mail, they'll post it on the property, and most of the time they'll take a picture of the posting so I can make sure that you've received legal notice. Now, legal notice doesn't mean that you were actually notified, but it means that they can proceed because they did what the statutes require. And all the statute requires is that it be posted at the property and at town hall, and the statute even specifically says that whether you receive it or not, it doesn't matter as long as they've gone through that process. So they've gone through the process. And here's something that goes for everyone in the room. If I say that you've violated something and you need to clean it up, I've literally watched people fix things on my way back from the meetings because I live here in Royal Palm. But it won't count unless you call the code enforcement officer to ask for a reinspection so they can verify it's been done. and they can put an affidavit of compliance in your file. Obviously, the problems still exist. There is no affidavit of compliance, and where we are right now procedurally, I have 41 days out of compliance, and you have a $1,025 fine, which will continue at $25 a day until it is complied. So if you clean these things up, call him so we can stop the fines from going.
I understand that, sir, but I can't fix something if I don't know it's broke.
As I just explained, sir, they have complied with the statute, and if they've complied with the statute, I can't stop the proceedings. And that's why I went through a longer explanation of why or how they try to serve you. So you should have gotten the regular mail, even if you didn't sign for the certified, and it should have been posted on your property, and that was probably the thing that was in the plastic sleeve. So here I am, $1,025 plus continuing. If you fix it, call them so you can stop it, because it will continue for years and years. And I've seen these fines grow up over $100 grand, so you need to get it taken care of somehow.
All right.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to page 3, the third case down, 24-0708, 1271 North State Road 7, NNN REIT LP.
And Code Enforcement Officer for the Village of Royal Palm. Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Your name, sir?
Douglas Schwang,
Spell your last name
SCHWINGE.
and your relation to the LP.
The LP, I am the general manager of the Ruby Tuesdays. The NNET is the property manager that gave us the notice.
Okay. General manager of the tenant.
Hi, Margaret.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the prior order finding violation along with the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3, dated photograph of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. Service with the signed green card. Actually,
And your previous order, special magistrate from April 16th, required compliance by 5/29. They complied on June 9th, so we're asking for a 10-day fine of $250 and not continuing.
all right. 50, no continuing.
She told me 250.
$25 a day for 10 days.
Yeah.
All right, so you fixed it, you just did it 10 days late.
Basically, yeah.
All right, so there'll be a $250 fine. There won't be any continuing. I don't think they'll foreclose over $250, but maybe you ought to pay that off someday.
Corporate will.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming out.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Same page, 25-0107, 153 Sparrow Drive, RIC 25 LTD.
Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership.
Your name, sir?
William Boyer.
And your relation?
I'm authorized representative.
Can I have a copy of that?
You sure can.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation.
Okay.
Page 2 of that order with the returned certified mail.
Okay,
Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property.
absolutely.
Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Thank you, sir.
All right, admitted without objection. What am I looking at?
Missing vegetation. So they had to remove some dead trees, and they were also told to replace any dead, dying, or missing vegetation, which around the dumpster area should have edge, as well as, whoops, wrong way, on this side from where you can see in this area up here, all the way up to the building requires a hedge as well. And it's not there, so they're still missing vegetation.
Okay, nothing's growing in our drought anyway, but
No, so there's two problems with this. Now, one, again, it is a large business. I have to go through other people in order to get them to approve or to disapprove. Now, it takes me a little while in order to get some type of feedback as to far as what they want to get done. The land on that side of the building is root locked. So there's no plant material that's going to be able to possibly put in or grow on that side. Not just for the fact that the irrigation system is almost 40 years old. Now, we have updated some of the irrigation system in order to maintain what's already on the property and to facilitate the new trees that were installed. We called for the inspection. When we called for the inspection, the gentleman, Samuel, I believe is his name, came out and said that we were non-compliant by missing 2 trees. We didn't know that these trees even existed on the property prior because they were taken off based on some other change that was made to the playground either a year or so ago. I believe it was an oak that was removed from the playground and turf was put in its place. We didn't know that that was missing. We didn't, it was not on the site. It's on the site map, but again, there's turf there now. We wouldn't have known that it was taken out and not replaced. So next day, fast forward, we're back out there. We got these guys doing their thing. They're putting in the extra 2 trees. We actually put in a 3rd tree to make sure that we had no violation on that other side of the building. Staking them down, apparently that was part of the staking was supposed to have been done the day after. My guys didn't show up until the following day. So again, Saturday, we're looking at like 2 days that I think we were out of compliance, but now we're in extra compliance as far as the trees were concerned. But we do have a application in order to change the approved plan so that we can remove those bushes or have them omitted from the site map, and then a new key added because the trees are in different places. But we did get that approved through the permitting process.
okay. I was just going to say, you're going to need to change the approved site plan, but you're trying to, so.
Margaret actually should have gotten an email with that today. My office manager should have sent it over to her, and then also Alicia Ham. Now, I think the only process now is just getting a $500 check in to get that started.
Yeah, and that's,
Received the email, but I'm sure.
It was late.
I know we spoke about that's
Yeah.
what you need to do.
Yeah.
In order not to.
Yeah, so we're re-architecturing it. We're redrawing the plan so that the key is up to date. And once it goes through her, because it's less than 20% of the landscape. So being that it is less than 20% of the landscape, it only has to be done in-house. So it doesn't have to go in front of a committee.
Okay, so it's just minor.
it sounds like where I am today, you're still not in compliance, so I get to do a fine, but you probably come back for a reduction based upon your actions of getting the site plan changed so you could not have to be fined and have hedges.
Okay, so in the fine, I have to personally pay it out of my pocket.
No one pays anything on the fine until you probably figure out what you're doing with the entire
Okay,
thing.
yeah, because they said it could take up to 2 months. I'm just worried about an ongoing fine.
Unfortunately, yeah, the application should have been done a little bit sooner. I mean, the check's still.
Yeah, again, I understand,
It's a problem that I run into with a lot of the larger property owners. You got to go make it through the mailroom before you make it up to the C-suite before they say someone needs to look at this to decide whether or not they'll pay for it. And by that time, a month has passed and fines are getting ready to start and you're not there.
No, but again, I'm personally out of Tampa.
Right.
So I come down here and I'm every week down here trying to make sure that, and keep this site up to code.
Well, what you need to do is you need to do a timeline for your lien reduction hearing about what you did do prior to applying for the site plan change, you know, how you did the trees and when they went in, et cetera, et cetera. So when we do get to a lien reduction hearing, you have some good ammo
Okay.
for it. Because right now, all I have is a site plan, variations, especially the hedge part, and that's not fixed yet, so what are we looking at?
Did work hard on getting the 6 dead pine trees taken down. They were very dangerous.
The code officer will probably
Yeah, that was-
testify a little on your behalf.
That was
during-
massive. That was all the way into Sunday at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, no.
We were still pulling logs off Sunday at 9.
So, yeah, what I like is effort. You know, if people are trying, then I help them out. So it sounds like you're trying. It sounds like the village's code inspector acknowledges you're trying. You know, she's even trying to point you in the right direction to get everything else done so you don't have to hedge it up.
You know, again, it was a little hard to get to where we kind of figured out what we had to do in order to get to make the arrangements. I mean, it was like even the site owner was like, okay, well, you know, can we push this into July or August when the new fiscal year starts? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not the one that gets to make the calls.
Yeah, well, it's more like, can we push this into June or July when the rainy season starts so the stuff I put in won't die?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, all right, what's our fine amount?
This one is $650 and continuing. It's been out for 13 days at $50 per day.
50 plus continuing is granted. You'll be back for a fine reduction when you finally get your site plan approved.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much, sir.
Is there some paperwork I get on that?
You're going to get an order out of them someday, probably Monday or Tuesday is when I sign them.
You'll get, the order will come in the mail.
It'll go to the site itself?
You may want to contact Ms. Hancoat, and she will probably get you a copy of it because it's got to go back to your corporate offices probably as part of where they have to mail things. But they're very good about giving extra copies. So I think she had a card for you.
Going to the top of page 4, Special Magistrate Repeat Violation Hearings, 25-0364-1001 North State Road 7, Biscayne Friendly LLC.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 17-9, graffiti on the structure. It's a repeat violation. I observed the violation on 4/16/25. Notice of violation used. I'd like to submit the following documents and evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of hearing and notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is the previous order from 2/20/24, case number 20-193. Exhibit 3 is a verification of ownership for the pictures, and Exhibit 5 is the affidavit.
Your name, sir?
Michael Atzman,
Could you spell your last name, please?
Tzmon.
And your relation to the LLC?
I'm one of the managers.
The exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record, Exhibit 1 is the repeat violation notice, the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is the previous order finding violation.
Which is dated,
Second page here, it's dated the
So-
20th of February,
yeah.
2024.
so.
Hold on, we'll get through the documents. Then I just want to make sure you speak after the documents. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. And Exhibit 4, a dated photograph of the violation. Exhibit 5, an affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
Just the Exhibit 2, the violation from 2024 was for different graffiti, which we cleared. The property was brought back into compliance, I think the last time was in September of '24. That was during our tenants' time at the property. And then, I mean, this is another occurrence of graffiti, but it's not the same graffiti that was there in February of '24.
All right. All right, you have a signed green card, so you have service. Which business is this? What are we talking about?
This is the Friendlies.
This is the actual Friendlies. I used to go to Friendlies when I was a kid in Massachusetts. It was very popular up there for the ice cream.
Yeah, well,
It didn't quite cut it here, though.
you know, we bought it vacant, and we had a restaurant lined up, and we're days away from signing a lease before COVID. Then, after COVID, we leased it to a car wash company that was supposed to redevelop the site, and they, submitted a site plan, got it approved, and then didn't do anything for close to 3 years, and we finally took the property back from them. So it has been a bit of a challenge to fill. We're now in negotiations with a new type of use, which we hope we'll get through.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
This is a repeat violation. It was out of compliance for 7 days at $50 a day, so we're asking for a fine of $350 and not continuing.
Unfortunately, this is kind of like they parked badly on your property 2 years ago, and then they came back and they parked badly again. It was a different person. Well, this is different graffiti, but, it's still a graffiti issue. So the $350, no continuing, is probably as low as you're going to get on terms of a fine, because you fixed it. So,
All right, well,
I feel sympathy for you, because you can't really patrol your abandoned, non-functional, it's been closed for years property, and the taggers are running around tagging things, but the only people that they can deal with is the property owner. So that's who they're dealing with, and fortunately, when they contacted you, you cleaned it up quickly.
So I would ask then that, anytime new graffiti appears on the site, we could be, hit with a repeat violation that starts accruing from the day that it's seen? It doesn't...
Unfortunately, yes. And normally, that's because, someone's normally there on site, and you're unfortunately, the owner of a vacant property right now, so you don't have someone there on site. But that's the way the ordinances are set up. They assume that you go there every day, oh my God, someone's tagged our door, let's roll over it, and we don't have a problem. You don't get to do that until they call you and say you have a problem, and then all of a sudden you're facing a fine. So unless you get someone to go by there for you to check on it semi-regularly, there's nothing they can do other than say, we can't get the tagger. The only person we can touch is the person who has the building. And if you don't get it cleaned up, it just draws more of them. They will just tag it to death. So.
Special Magistrate, I tried on multiple occasions to call him before even sending out the repeat violation.
No,
I'll tell you, he was not available on the phone. I don't know, vacation, I believe.
Yeah,
So it was sent out after almost weeks of trying to communicate with him.
Yeah, that's you just need to give Mr. Andrew a good number to contact you, because these people, some people like to do code enforcement because it's a revenue source. The village likes to do code enforcement because it's something to keep the village appearance up.
I understand. Okay.
Call people. If you would have picked up the phone with Andrew, he would have gone, oh, okay, well, when are you going to have it done by? You're going to have it done in a couple of days. I'll check it out. There probably wouldn't even been a hearing.
You're right. It was an unfortunate timing, because we were away, my in-laws in France, the week that I guess I was missing those calls. And
I'm jealous, but yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah, it was just a bad timing issue.
Don't be jealous. It's the in-laws.
Okay. All right. $350, no continuing is granted. So
we have another case on the same property.
We have a couple of cases in between that, so we're going to proceed in the order. So we'll get right back to you.
Fred, you might as well. You're going to get called here in a couple minutes, I assume.
Next, we're staying on the same page for violation hearings. Case 25-0307, 136 Ponce de Leon Street, Ricky Dermo and Carol Curland.
The code section is 6-198.5 for a stained sidewalk. I observed the violation on 3/25/25. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 3/25/25 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Your name, sir?
Rick
Last name?
Dermo.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of posting for the notice of violation and notice of hearing, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, the notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. Any objection to these documents?
No, but it's all done. I mean, I got pictures myself to
Okay.
show everything.
Okay.
Cool. All right, I was just sort of curious, because part of my normal annual routine is wait until the rainy season's over, then do the sidewalks and the driveway, and then do my fence. I wait till the rainy season's over.
I'm sorry, my hearing's really,
Normally, I wait until the rainy season's over, and then I do my sidewalk, driveway, and fence with the pressure cleaner. And I'm looking at this picture, and it looks like someone did like a third of it and stopped.
well, I did it before, but since I had my first pressure cleaner that I had, it went on the fritz on me, and then I ended up having a stroke. And I'm fine, but the medicine they got me on is like killer. So I had to have my older son come over and finish it with another pressure washer. But it's all,
That's why I was saying earlier, I found my receipt from 2017 for my pressure cleaner, and I'm just shocked it's still alive, because normally 4 or 5 years, they just burn out. The good news, though, is this is a violation hearing, so you have time to clean it up, and it sounds like you've already done it, so would you like the code
yeah, I
inspector to
got
go?
pictures if they want to see it, or I think Andrew
You show him
was
the
over
picture, but
just the
he's
other
also
day,
going to
too.
go out there and
An
inspect it.
inspection anyway, so
Yeah,
it
but-
doesn't change what
Yeah, I
happens
know,
here
but
tonight.
he has a picture, so he can show it. I mean, yeah. That's okay. I'll
Yeah,
just note
I
that
don't
he
know how
is,
to do all that. Maybe you can.
Is that from today?
Yeah, that's.
yeah, just, yeah. He wants to show us a picture, we'll show a picture. It's all good.
Yeah.
No, you want the code inspector to come by tomorrow or the next day. and
Yeah,
check
that's
it
fine.
out.
It's all done. I mean, I just.
Okay.
I'll go by tomorrow.
See the line there that used to be there. That's fine. Yeah, good. Excellent. All right, he'll go by. What time were we looking at for doing this? Because this will go for a lot of the violation hearings. You were going to give him till when to fix it?
By July 31st, or appearance at the September 10th fine assessment hearing, or $25 a day fine.
All right, 7:31, 8:10, 25.
9:10.
9:10.
Thank you.
7:31, 9:10, 25. All right, so you have until July 31st to do what you've already done. He's going to come by in a couple days and just verify it.
Okay, so it's done now. So what do they'll send me something, or?
You'll get an order in the mail that says you're in violation because he hasn't re-inspected it yet. But when he re-inspects it, he'll put an affidavit of compliance in your file that says it's done. So you'll be covered. And you'll be done a lot before the July 31st, as long as his inspection shows that it was done properly.
Just so the record is clear, he gets found in violation because he did not comply by the date specified in the notice of violation, not based on today's appearance with his
Right.
pictures. So,
Yeah.
but the village will come inspect, and you'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, it's all, they can come by anytime they want. So
No, you've asked him to come by. He's going to come by and look.
yeah.
Thank you.
Special Magistrate?
Yes, there was a finding of service via posting.
Thank you. Staying on this, thank you, sir. You're all set. You'll get an order in the mail.
Okay.
Okay? Same page, second one from the bottom, 25-0325, 114 Segovia Court, Darylyn Lacognina Trust Title Holder, and Darylyn Lacognina Trustee.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 6-190A135, 14-4A, 12-4C, 14-2, and 23-17. Stage structure, sidewalk, driveway, and walkway. Disabled vehicle, garbage bin not screened to code, miscellaneous items, parking over the sidewalk. I observed the violation on 4/4/25. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/4/25 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Okay.
Darylyn Lockenino.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and the notice of hearing. The notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. The notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation.
It's clean now.
We'll get there.
It's clean now.
We'll get there. You can explain to the magistrate. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Objection. I see the picture of the car over the sidewalk and the little paper you put down on the sidewalk for the dirty part. You have service via posting, by the way.
There's also no license plate on that pickup truck, which is a disabled vehicle.
All right, and when do you propose that this be done by? Let me guess, 7/31, 9/10/25?
7/31, 8/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine?
No, I guessed wrong. 7/31, 8/13/25. All right, you've said you've done it already, which is good. You have until the end of July to finish it.
The sidewalks, I did the driveway. I
Okay.
did the back of the house, the walls.
Okay.
There's one spot though that needs to get painted that didn't come off.
Okay, not a problem. You'll fix that.
Everything that he had asked, and I called him and told him is being taken care of. The only problem I'm having is with the truck. I lost the title, so I went to motor vehicle 3 times and asked them for a registration so I can get another title. They said that I have to send a letter to the place that I bought the truck to get a copy of the title. Better yet, they're closed. They've been closed now. I've had that truck almost 20 years. I said, there's no way I can get a title. P.S. that nobody wants to take it. I brought it to the junkyard. They won't take it. So I can't get a title. I can't get to junkyard. And the place that I bought it from shut down.
All right, did you never get the title from it 20 years ago?
20 years ago.
Because during that time, was this truck ever licensed?
Yeah.
If the truck was licensed, it had to be in your name.
That's what I told her.
What you really need to do is go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and get a duplicate title.
I went for the duplicate.
And they said they don't have it in
She
their records?
said, I need proof that I purchased the car. I said,
You may need to talk to a supervisor or something. That just sounds weird, because, you should be able just to apply for a duplicate title if your, title got shredded by
agree.
mistake or something.
yeah, so I couldn't get the registration. Meanwhile, my car's sitting there, which I love. And that's really the biggest problem I'm having right now.
Okay. Well, they're saying you need to fix this by the end of July, July 31st, or you have to come back here in August on the 13th. Yeah, that sounds really strange, because if it was titled in your name, all you need to do is get a duplicate title. If it was never titled in your name, then it's a huge problem.
Right, and the place I bought it from shut down.
The place shouldn't matter, because if you did get a title and you were able to put a tag on
I
that
had
vehicle,
registrations for years.
then someone at the motor vehicle place is not, I don't think they're right. But you need probably to talk to a supervisor there, because if you had the title, all you need is a duplicate. And then you just need a tag, we'll just show them some insurance and you get a tag. And if the truck's old enough, you might even get collector car insurance if you've had it 20 years. I have collector car insurance on 3 cars. So it cost me like a whopping $380 a year for all of them. But you have to figure out how to get the title. So good luck.
I just want to be clear about the sidewalk, the driveway, and the staining issues. My inspection took place on 6/10. which was yesterday, and they were not in compliance at that point. There's also staining on the structure, both in the front yard and the rear yard. So I know that she testified that it was taken care of, but I just want to make clear, maybe that was done later in the day on the 10th?
Last week.
Okay.
I did the,
If he did it last week, it may not be good enough because he went by yesterday and looked.
I did the driveway and the sidewalk in front of the house. I paid the guy, I mean, a lot of money.
Well, you can look at the pictures right up there, ma'am, and you can see the contrast between the sidewalk on the right side and the sidewalk in the center.
Well, my driveway is stained. It's always been like that. But he definitely did it because I paid him a lot of money. And he mowed the lawn and he cut all the trees and the shrubs in the backyard. And this guy walked away with a pretty penny. And I said, okay. I wouldn't tell you that if I didn't do it.
Well, we're not saying that, you're not telling the truth. I'm just pointing out what I saw yesterday. And see the staining in the back of the house.
I did say the bottom part, we cleaned it. The top part looks clean. Look at that. He cleaned it, it came off, all the rust.
Okay, well, you need to repaint the bottom part to get it.
Yeah, I need to repaint it.
All right, well, you have until July 31st to see if you can get this all done, so good luck to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
My main concern is the car.
All right.
All set, thank you.
All right, yeah, 731, 813, 25 granted.
Thank you, ma'am. Next case is the middle of page 5, 25-0332, 115 Vizcaya Avenue, Anthony W. Misiocia. Excuse me if I mispronounced. Thank you. Never have come up with that.
I know.
Section is 6-22, 108.4, driveway and walkway pavers without a permit. I observed the violation on 4/7/25. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/8/25 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Your name, sir?
Anthony Mashosha.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and notice of hearing. The notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. The notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. And Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
All right, admitted without objection. All right, so January, February, March, I see a little bulldozer-y thing there, and I guess they took out your old concrete and put in pavers?
Did.
Need to go get that permitted.
So my issue with getting the permit is there's a language barrier. So the reference was through my landscaper, and I have to use Google Translate to talk to him. But the person who did the pavers is in Orlando, and he had only come down, I guess, to do the pavers. And originally they had told me they had pulled the permit. And then he had stopped them, and then they had only started back because they told me they had pulled the permit. So I thought everything was good. And then I ended up getting another thing in the mail, but I just got this document finally to be able to upload. I think I just need to have it notarized, and then that should be the final thing in order to get the permit.
Okay, well, they're going to give you some time to get the permit. You have service via posting, so you probably have until the end of July. Is this?
Asking for compliance by June 26th or appearance at the August 13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
I'm going to give them till 7/31.
Thank you.
A few more days there. Yeah, you're just going to, a lot of these people who do these jobs will say they pull permits and they'll lie to your face.
I know, yeah, they definitely do.
And the only thing you could do to protect yourself is call the village and say, hey, I'm getting this done. Did my guy ever apply for a permit? And they would have told you, no, he didn't.
Yeah, lesson learned.
So Yeah, there's something called impervious surface area. They only want you to cover up so much of your property with concrete so the rain will go through and go in. And this should be no problem at all because all you did was replace an existing driveway, but they may require a newer survey. So those are all issues you're going to have to deal with. I mean, normally people who do these things add an extra lane almost or an extra parking space. You just replaced what you had existing, so hopefully.
Yeah, I didn't add anything.
Hopefully you can get it through. Looks really good, but,
Thank you.
you know, the permit issue is a permit issue, so you're going to need to get it permitted. If this is your homesteaded property, you can apply for the permit.
I know. So so that's what I've been trying to figure out. Is that what I should do?
Is the property homesteaded,
Yes.
owner builder, you can apply for the permit.
Yeah, but I just got I just got this paper with all their information on it finally this week.
And if it works, that's great, but if not,
All right. So no matter what, I can fix it. All right, cool.
all right, 731-813-25 is granted.
Thank you. Special Manager, we're going back up on the top of the page, 25-0326, 153 Waterway Road, Ellen J. Lavoy.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 6-190A1, screen enclosure and disrepair.
Are they here? Are you here?
153 Waterway going twice? No, we don't seem to have a body.
All right, we'll scratch that and go down to the next case in the center, 25-0365, 1001 North State Road 7, Biscayne Friendly LLC.
Special Magistrate, the code sections are 6-195, 6-190, 23-49A14, and 14-2. Rotten fascia boards, stained gutter, drip edge, walkway, and concrete patio were stained as well, as long as the friendly sign and the structure and the parking lot striping not to code. I observed the violation on 4/16/25. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/16/25 and returned on 4/19. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Your name again, sir?
Michael Atzman.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violations.
There's no updated pictures from the reinspection?
Yeah, no, there are. There's the pictures from
Here's
yesterday.
the first pictures,
Sorry.
and we'll get to the
Okay.
second set.
All right, well,
So here's the beginning of the
Sure.
new ones from yesterday.
okay, can I get a copy of these? Because our handyman is here, and I mean, he's just waiting for this to be able to go and fix what needs to be fixed. What's the problem there, that? Can I circle it?
Well, you're not gonna
Oh.
you're not gonna take this copy, but you can request from the village a copy of the public records. Does he have his phone? He could take photographs of the TV screens?
Yeah, can we go through it? I mean, we want to get this done and finished as soon as possible. Wait, so let me, what's the problem with here? That looks, that we repaired the gutter.
The code enforcement officer can testify to that.
Okay.
Any objection to the documents?
No.
Let's slowly go through the pictures so his handyman can take pictures and you can point out what needs to be done. You have service via signed green card. All right, where are we now? 430 is an old one.
Yes, well, that's on the agenda. Code section, yeah.
Give you a photograph of every particular area that needs to be fixed.
All right, so we're here on this one picture. What's wrong with that?
Well, if I could backtrack to the
Sure, go
430
ahead,
picture,
go
you
ahead.
see the contrast between the dark
Right.
and the blue? The dark side has been corrected, but the blue side remains to be stained, as you can see in these pictures.
So we are going to have to repaint that. The pressure cleaning did not work. If that's
Pressure
not
cleaning
acceptable, then we need a repaint.
Okay, so you're going to need to repaint that. Good. So at least he'll know what he needs to do. All right, and the next picture?
Yeah, some of these issues have been addressed.
Good. Well, the
You
more
can
they've
see-
done, the better,
You can see the concrete patio was clean, but again, that walkway, the blue section of the walkway was still stained.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then over here is remaining rotting in the fascia boards.
That's on the front of the building.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, he's taking pictures, good. Well,
And then
hopefully
this picture over here would be considered the miscellaneous items, so you just need to,
Remove the garbage, yeah, okay.
Okay, that's fascia. What's on that one?
staining
Staining on the building,
in the gutter and the building.
on the gutter, so we may need to repaint a little bit over there. So that's only on that back wall?
Well, there's another picture.
Okay.
Staining again,
That's the
gutter
gutter.
and the drip edge.
On the gutter and the drip edge, okay. The white, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we've met on site before. I walked through it with them, but, you know, he just heard from
They
him
can
this
also call you
afternoon. So
again if you
we
need
have
that.
met on site. I've explained to him all the
Yeah.
issues. He's addressed some, but not all of them.
That's good, because he's working on these things, I can tell, because he's worked on the last stuff too, so we're going to give him some time.
You got nothing else? You can take off. You don't need to stick around. Sorry it took so long. Thanks a lot.
And what section is that?
That's 640, it's 23-.
And Special Magistrate, just a correction on your agenda, 23, your agenda says 2340, that should be 2349, it's a typo on the agenda. And that parking lot striping not to code, that's a finding of fact, that's that code section.
All right, hold on.
But the restriping that we did is sufficient.
Yes, they're saying that that's a
Okay.
finding of fact. I'm just trying to find out where it is here. Driveway and walkway, disabled vehicle. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Graffiti, no.
Is that right or no?
Okay. Parking lot striping not to code is the finding of fact.
It's not on the
Gotcha.
agenda.
All right, and what time are you looking for on the rest?
Compliance by 626 or appearance at the 7-9 fine assessment hearing or $25 a day fine.
All right, we're going to give him more time than that because he's worked on portions of these. He's fixed the graffiti. He's done some of these things. He's got a handyman who was here at the meeting to try to fix the rest of it. He's going to get more time. So we're going to give him some time in July.
Thank you very much, yeah. I mean, to get the work done and then schedule the reinspection, make sure it's, you know, good enough, it all takes time. Thank you.
All right, what is our 8/13 is the meeting for August, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so
The other
a
ones
couple
you've set
weeks,
7/31, 8/13.
7/31 will be fine. Okay, you got
And
another
a
month to
finding
get
of
it all.
fact on the 2349, 814.
All right, yeah, finding of fact on the parking lot striping not to code is what I've circled. So I've do a finding of fact on that because they fixed it, and you're getting the additional time because you have fixed other things, and you are responsive, and you get credit for that. And what is it, 25 a day, 50
Yes,
a
sir.
day, 25? All right, 7/31, 8/13, 25. Call for a reinspection. If you have any questions, talk to the code officer. You have enough time to
All
get
right.
everything tweaked now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck on your sale or whatever you can do with
At
that.
least, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next case down on the agenda, 25-0404, 10884 Grandview Court, SRP SUB LLC.
The code sections are 15-142 and 12-4C, bare spots in the front yard, garbage bin not screened to code. I observed the violation on 4/28/25. A notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/29 and returned on 5/5. Would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation and notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
Your name, ma'am?
Could you spell your last name?
ABB,
And your relation to the LLC?
authorized agent.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing, and the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3 is a dated photograph of the violation, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and is that your authorization?
Yes.
Can we have a copy of that? Can we keep that?
All yours.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. Defendant's authorization is also included in the record. You want to just keep it all together? No, I don't care. You care, I'm good with it. Signed green card for service, you fixed it. Is there a fine or is it a finding of
It's
fact?
a finding of fact, sir.
Finding of fact is granted. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Take care.
you.
Does she have anything else on the agenda? Is she good?
It's a fine mitigation.
Yeah, we need to go through the rest of the violations first. Bottom of page 6, 25-0375, 879 Azalea Drive, Magdiel G. Gonzalez and Mayday G. Ramirez. Thank you.
Good evening, Special Magistrate Anthony Sallin, Village of Royal Palm Code Enforcement Inspector. I'd like to, where's it at? This would be Code Section 2318, 3 and B, 2C for parking on both sides of the home. I observed the violation on 4/21/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 4/21/25 and posted on 5/22/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, a notice of violation, notice of hearing, and an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photos.
Ariel Collins.
And your relation to the property?
We're renters.
Okay, and you have authorization?
Yes.
Okay, very good. We can keep this copy? Okay, great. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and notice of hearing, the notice of violation itself, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation or violations. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No, we did move it that evening, so it is gone.
Okay.
We're just talking about the paperwork right now.
Oh, okay.
All right, admitted without objection to the paperwork. All right, so you have 2 things and you moved one because you're only allowed one on one side. Service via posting. Normally, they kind of think that, this is how government thinks. You can only put it on one side so the fire department can run around the other side and put the house, put the fire out on the house. So you've moved, I take it, the smaller trailer because...
Owners own the RV, and they were trying to sell it in the time that we had so that we can keep the trailer there, but they couldn't sell it. So that's why we just moved it.
Okay, well, hopefully they'll sell it and then you can put your
Yes.
trailer back where the RV is.
That would be great.
Because they're kind of messing you up. I mean, normally, unless your lease says, and by the way, we had to keep an RV there.
Right, that, we didn't know that. And they said we can keep the trailer there, and so
Yeah, well,
that's not,
They didn't care because they get to keep their RV there. So, yeah, hopefully they'll get it sold and you can put your trailer back in your property where you were renting since you're,
right.
and you may even want to talk to them about, you may want to look at your lease just to see if they left that in there somewhere. All right, so they say they fixed it. They probably want you to come by and look so they can,
I do have photos, so I don't know if that matters.
And again, it's by the date specified in the notice of violation, so we're asking for compliance by June 26th or 8/13 or $25 a day fine. If you want to show, you have a picture you want to show?
I do, I'm sorry, it's my phone again.
we like to see pictures, and he's just going to go, you're going to ask the code officer to go come by and just verify that this is,
Okay.
it looks very empty-ish.
Okay, do I need to call and ask
No,
them to
that's
come
what we're
by?
trying to do right now is, he's going to go by now in the next couple of days just to verify that there's only one thing on one side of the house.
Yes.
See, we saved you a phone call. Isn't that good? And you need to fix this by 6/26. You fixed it already. When he goes by in a day or two to look at it, he'll do something called an affidavit of compliance. And if you're really smart, you'll follow up and say, have I got my affidavit of compliance in the file? So you may want to call him in a few days just to make sure that happened.
Okay,
Okay, that way you're protected. Okay?
thank you.
He's going to give you a card.
Page 7, second case down, 25-0269, 232 Parkwood Drive South, Roberta M. Poston.
Code sections 942-2318B1, fence and disrepair, prohibited vehicle. I observed this violation on 3/10/25, sent out notice violation and notice of hearing certified mail on 3/12/25. It was signed for on 3/17/25. Like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Your name for the record?
Roberta Poston.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, and the signed certified mail.
Yes.
Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property.
Yes.
Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
That one, the last one, I'm trying to get a fence company to come out and do that, but I thought it was the 2 slats on the other side of the property that needed fixing, so we fixed that. But I didn't realize it was that one.
Okay.
Okay, well, you're going to get some time to cure all this. All right, service via signed green card. A whole bunch of things, and we're down to 2.
Yeah, Special Magistrate 2318B1 is a finding of fact. That's the prohibited vehicle, so she's complied that.
Oh, see, that was the hard one.
This is the only item outstanding. That's 942, and we're asking for compliance by 7/31 or the 8/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Good, that's the time frame I was looking at. All right, so now you'll have to the end of July to get your fence fixed.
Perfect.
As soon as they finish it, call the code officer to have it inspected. You may want to call the code officer or the building department to see if you need to get a permit for this. If it's just a small section, you may not, but you should ask. What's the rules now, 25% a year?
That small portion, she may not, as long as you don't replace 25%, more than 25% of your originally permitted fence. So if she permitted the front and both sides back in the day, and she's just doing that small portion, that's less than 25%.
Okay, so,
We'll have to go through the homeowners association for that, though, don't I?
I believe you would have to have their approval, yes.
Okay.
that's probably going to be more of a problem than the village is.
Fixed too.
We'll see. Politics are fun.
But she
So
did take care of a lot of
7/31,
stuff.
8/13/25, just get it done by the 31st and give them a call. That
Thank
way
you very
they can come
much.
out
I
and look at
appreciate
it and make sure they get your affidavit of compliance in the file. All right?
Thank you.
Take care.
Bottom of the page, 25-0346.
Oh, service via signed green card.
Thank you. 25-0346, 1222 Stardust Way, Fausto J. Figueroa.
Code sections 2318B2C, 15132, do I even have that on here? Yes, I do. And 15141. Parking on both sides of the home, lawn and swale have bare areas. I observed this violation on 4/4/25, sent out notice violation, notice of hearing certified mail on 4/11/25, and posted them both to the property. Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. Should be easy then.
For the record? Are you translating?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you ask him his name for the record?
Fausto Padilla.
And what is your name?
Valerie.
The last name? Cruz. Valerie Cruz, okay. So I'm going to explain what these documents are, and then I'll stop and you can translate it. And then, okay. So these are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation.
Okay.
And notice of hearing. This is the notice of hearing.
Es el mismo, ¿no?
Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership.
Esa es la verificación de que usted es el dueño de ahí.
Okay.
Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation.
Esa es la violación con las fechas y todo eso.
And exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance. Tell him
That's the
that.
day he...
That's showing that he's in compliance, so tell him it's an affidavit of compliance.
Eso es cuando no está, como que no hizo las cosas.
Sí, pero yo ya moví todo lo que tenía que mover.
He said he already moved everything he needed
That's right,
to.
that's what this says, that he's in compliance now. So ask him if he has any objection to these documents being entered.
Él tiene alguna opción que esos metan esos documentos.
No, no, todo.
No.
Okay. And
All right,
remind me
admitted
your
without
name.
objection. It's a finding of fact here. All right, finding of fact is granted since you fixed everything. Tell me he fixed everything, they inspected it, and he's fine.
Ya vieron
Valerie
testimonio y
Cruz.
todo eso.
Okay, thank you.
And Special Magistrate, do you want to have relayed to him that he needs to not be found in violation again for the same code sections? Because he is being found in violation.
Do we tell that to everyone, or we just leave it go?
We normally do, especially when they are having a language issue. Next page, 23-0349, 170 Adele Avenue, Bellicera Homeowners Association, Inc.
Section 155795-0619D and 2680, high grass and weeds in and around perimeter hedge. Hedge exceeds allowable height. I observed this violation on 4/14/25, sent out notice of violation with a notice of hearing on 4/15/25, and posted it to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
You're going to clear out a nice chunk of the audience.
They are working on it.
All right, yeah, tell us who you are, and if it's hard to spell your last name.
Yep, Alan Borza, B-O-R-Z-A, president of Seminole Palms HOA. Behind me, we have Nathaniel Wood, past immediate president, and Eric, what's your last name, Eric? Mike. Mike Munns.
Mike Munns, M-U-N-N-S.
And Mike is with Greenscape Landscaping. They're our landscape vendor.
The second guy. What was the second gentleman's name?
My name is Nathaniel Wood, previous HOA board president, landscape committee member. Nice guy.
Who doesn't need a microphone.
So Mr. Wood has been relieved by Mr. Borza. He now doesn't have as many stresses in his life.
Oh, well, he's now still on the landscape committee and also very helpful.
Have to be up in front of the president.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and the notice of hearing. This is the notice of violation, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership showing who owns the property. And Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation.
Sure. Just want to note, we have switched property management firms. The ownership document mentioned Campbell Property Management being the mailing address.
So you need to change that with the property appraiser's office. The village is required by law to send you documents to the address listed on the tax collector and the property appraiser's website. So if this is incorrect, you need to fix it with the appropriate office.
Okay.
Additional photos. Any objection to these documents?
No.
All right, admitted without objection. I see all kinds of activity.
Yes.
Yeah,
We've had
chop,
lots of
chop,
activity.
chop in the hot sun. All right, we have service via posting. What's the problem here other than the hedges are too tall and
Are too tall and grass and weeds were growing within them. They are working hard at getting everything cleaned up. Do have the landscapers keep an eye on, like in this photo, there's still like a broken chair here, and I'm not sure if the landscapers are leaving water bottles, but I've seen several water bottles where the work has been done that are on the ground. And then there's still areas, this picture, I'm sorry, is actually from today. I didn't change the date to where the hedge is still high. I know you're working on going down the whole length,
Yeah.
so, but there still are some areas of concern.
Yeah. That's the Crestwood?
That's Crestwood, yeah.
Okay.
We haven't gotten to that section yet.
Yeah,
All right,
so we're
well-
working hard. We have limited access. There's like, we literally have to peel back sections of the gate to get, I'm sorry, of the fence, because there are no gates, because our builder screwed us.
I can actually speak to that. So this has been an ongoing thing that we've been fighting with Lennar since December of 2022, where when we received the master site plan, the landscape plan that was approved by the village, there's vegetation and fencing that was never on that plan, whereas the builder had an updated plan. And we are still in the midst of having deficiency and correction turnover from Lennar, which they are actively fighting against us to correct. So as many of you may know, the process for an HOA turnover is when it's given to the residents, we have to submit a punch list to them of things that need to be corrected, engineering studies, reports, all that stuff. Lennar has dug in and on things such as this, the western community border next to Saratoga, where we called out no access, incorrect plants, double fences that weren't on the plans were put in there. They basically said, the village approved it, so it's their problem now. So we're caught between the builder, the village, and seeking next steps to figure out what to do with this.
You're not fighting some of the bigger entities in the world, are you?
Fortune 200 company named Lennar? No, we're not.
In a municipality with 39,000 people in it, nah, two small little guys out there.
And our fight certainly isn't with the village. We're all homeowners just trying to have Lennar do what's right by their customers that they made a killing off of.
That's old news for them. All right, so you're like 3 year ago profit and loss statements or something. You're not really up there in the, we need to build something pretty so we can sell it. All right, so what times are we looking at? End of July-ish?
We're asking for compliance by June 26th or appearance at the July 9th fine hearing or $75 a day fine.
So 6/26 sounds a little too quick for you, doesn't it?
Timeline for us, yes.
See, and that's why I'm here. No. All right, what was the dollar amount? Because I'm going to give them more time because they've shown up and you have pictures of them actually whacking on hedges. So I'm going to give them till the July 31st date because they are actively doing this. What was your fine amount?
$75 a day.
75 sounds fair. All right, so I've trotted you from 6/26 to 7/31 and hopefully you can get it taken care of. I do not expect your fight against Lennar to be done by then because, hey, that'd be too easy. It almost be easier to go against Allstate, you know?
So, So just to be clear, 7/31 is the next hearing and we're
No,
expecting.
7/31 is I got this fixed date and 8/13 is the hearing.
All right, so date of correction.
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, call for reinspection once we're ready to make sure we're all good prior to that.
that would be a wonderful thing. Everyone would like that.
Yes, Alan and I have been in contact, and we'll just take another walk.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
We're really close. And we're going to be putting in more gates because really what happened was Lennar, as the developer, they said the developer and the HOA, as you see, agreed to maintain that hedge, which is between two chain link fences. And then in their docs, they said, oh, hey, by the way, these specific lots have to maintain this hedge that's back there. Well, obviously, I understand that as the HOA, we're responsible. We're the line of last defense, and we're on the hook for it. But we also need to provide those unit owners access through gates and stuff to access this hedge that they're now expected to
Don't want them
maintain.
to climb over? 8/13/75 is granted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On the bottom, it's case number 25-0398, and it's a confidential record.
Sections 2318B1, 2316A5 and 6, prohibited trailer parked on the roadway. I observed this violation on 4/24/25. Sent out notice of violation certified mail and notice of hearing, as well as a corrected notice of hearing. The first ones were mailed out on 4/28. The second one was mailed out on 5/12/25. I received that on 5/27/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Hi, your name, sir?
Eric Ash, attorney.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation,
There's no objection to that?
notice of hearing,
No objection?
signed certified mail.
No objection?
Exhibit 2,
I just want to see the pictures.
we'll get there,
All
sir,
right,
just
thank-
1 second.
I'm sorry.
There is a duplicate notice of hearing here, just want to make sure you see. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership, showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3, dated photographs.
Okay. Let me see the date. I missed the date on the first one, sorry. Okay. Same pictures? Or?
This one's 6/9.
All right.
Exhibit 4 is affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
Any objection to these documents being entered?
I do not.
Okay, and is he the property?
He
owner,
is,
just
yes.
so the record,
He is.
the order is clear?
We're not using names here today.
Well, it's a confidential record case. Actually, they just changed the law where city attorneys can become confidential record too. I just haven't asked. And it's kind of funny because I look at garage sales and every once in a while you'll like look up the address and it'll be a blurred picture and I'm like, confidential record. So you blur out your picture too. I'm like, whatever. All right, so you fixed it. We got an attorney here saying, why are we here?
Violation here, I think, is the problem, is that when I look at the code and I compare it to the citations that are contained in the notice, I can't find the violation.
Okay, well.
Help me. I don't need help, I mean, but I've walked through it, and
It's an open trailer, and that's the problem. An open trailer is supposed to be screened behind something if it's kept on a property here, correct?
Trailers to be parked on one side of the home, screened from view, or in the garage. Another problem with the trailer, as you see in the photo, it has an unconcealed load. As to our code, unconcealed load of items, equipment, makes it prohibited. Also, the trailer cannot be parked in the roadway. It needs to be parked on one side of the home or, again, in the garage. And if it's parked on the side of the home, it, again, needs to be screened from view, and it cannot have items on it, even on the side of the home. If the items are to be on the trailer, it would need to be inside the garage, and the garage would need to be closed because it would be prohibited.
And your legal argument is?
Is that none of the openness of the trailer has been cited or there's any complaint about that in the notice.
Well,
It's
they
where
say
it's parked.
prohibited trailer, which under their
Definition.
is defined as one of these open trailers or a trailer with stuff in it. I mean, I'm trying to keep it down to a non-legal level, but.
No, I appreciate that.
He can have these things if he puts them in the right place, but you can't just hang it out in the street. I mean, I hate driving around all this stuff.
The problem isn't the location of the trailer, which is the last thing I heard, but rather its contents.
Contents is a problem and location's a problem. Both are problems.
If the contents weren't, I'm
If the
sorry.
contents weren't in there, then it wouldn't be prohibited, but it still wouldn't be allowed on the road. It still need to be parked either on the side of the home screened or in the garage.
Commercial work vehicle, so it doesn't matter whether the contents are there. It's still a prohibited vehicle because it's a commercial work vehicle.
It is not.
May I add also, sometimes the trailer is just left in the roadway without a vehicle attached to it. And that is when I originally wrote it, it was just left in the road with stuff on it, items within it, makes it prohibited, and it was left in the road as a non-motorized vehicle, and that falls under the code section 2316.
So you can argue it, and I'm going to deny it because, he's fixed it already, but he can't leave it out on the street, and he can't definitely unhook it.
Non-motor, I mean, that's just not what the code says, but.
Just to point you in the right direction.
Sure.
Under 2318 A5, which is our definitions of everything, commercial work vehicle is a motor vehicle or towed trailer regardless of size, that contains an unconcealed load of equipment, cargo, tools, trash, or construction material. And then she cited it as a prohibited vehicle, and a prohibited vehicle includes a commercial work vehicle. So that's why they're saying it's a commercial work vehicle, just to clarify.
My client's retired, and he picked stuff up. He's not he doesn't have an LLC, he doesn't advertise a business, he doesn't have a business.
You can do this as a sole proprietorship. I mean, he's not picking the stuff up for his health, is he?
That's a hobby.
It's a hobby. It's a hobby, you know, you're
And the code doesn't distinguish between him having a commercial business, correct?
commercial business is just some sort of action of commerce.
Correct.
How about the empty vehicle, though? Because he has a problem with that, too, in the past, and going forward, it would be helpful for him to have a little guidance. And when I look at the code...
Talk to someone after the hearing. It's not like, you know, Q&A here.
The trailer, without anything on it, is a restricted trailer, and it has to be parked on the side of the home and screened from view.
It's restricted if it's over 20 feet.
Open.
It's restricted if it's open, it's prohibited if it's over 20 feet.
And the restricted vehicle can't be parked, as I understand it, street side parking?
Yes, and a restricted vehicle must be parked on the side of the home, and if it's an open trailer, it has to be screened from view. They distinguish between an open trailer and a closed-in manufactured trailer.
Like the, you know, regular yard guys or actually one of my neighbors had a pool company and he bought a closed trailer because he was running into problems with the open trailer in the village. So he can either change his trailer style or he can put it in the right place.
All right, I'm just looking at the definitions.
Even
And I'm sorry I don't have a copy for y'all. I'll leave mine with you because I have others on my computer.
special magistrate, even a box trailer must be parked on one side of the home. The only difference is it would not have to be screened.
Yep, I know.
If it doesn't have writing on it.
Writing on it.
Okay, so we're back to the finding of fact, which is granted.
Thank you.
Okay.
And no finding of service, special magistrate? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 9 is fine mitigation hearings, case 23-0611, 112 Madrid Street, Jessica Ruzo.
All right.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2 is the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay, and what is the amount of the fine?
This one, special magistrate, the fine amount is $500 in this case. Your name, ma'am?
Jessica Russo.
Question I ask everyone is, why should the fine be reduced?
I was trying to follow everything within the timeline. I had Apex Roofing from 8/4/22, and then I went to tell them, okay, you need to go ahead and do the process for the permit. And on November 11th, 2023, they canceled my contract. I had until 12/1 to have the permit. So I quickly, from November 11th, had to find another roofing company. And with Thanksgiving and everything, I signed with Lifetime Metal Roofing on the 23rd of November, so I did it right away. I told them they had to have the permit by December 1st. I have papers saying they started it, but I guess they didn't get everything in on time. So I'm asking, since I tried to do everything as quickly as possible, if I could possibly have some of the fine taken off.
And what does the village say?
So this one, given the fine amount, the village typically opposes these, but we are going to place this one gently in your lap and let you rule with your discretion, sir.
This is the worst part of this job, okay? Lien reductions are the worst because someone's going to be mad at me. Doesn't matter who, everyone's going to be mad at me. All right, so you had a roofer, you have some documentation there you want to
Yes,
show me?
I have a whole folder. It's all the emails, and then I wrote like a timeline right here.
Okay, can I bring this up?
Absolutely.
So the village will look at it for second, they won't object, or if they do, I'll overrule it.
Thank you. I believe the first 2 pages are the original roofing company where I signed the agreement, and then another page is where they canceled it. They said they no longer serviced our area, and I was like, thanks for letting me know. There's also papers in there with the lawyer that was dealing with the whole thing because I had to go against the insurance to get the roof done. So all that's in there.
That's just typical of TARPs in the village. Half of my TARP cases are in litigation. I mean, half of my TARP cases are status/fine assessment hearings because I got to keep up with the litigation. Sometimes they run for a year or more until they're finally at the point where they can put the roof on. It's no fun for anyone. We are challenging council's speed reading abilities, though. All right, admitted without objection. Let me see who I'm not going to hire. They don't do our area anymore, huh? Okay. Okay. You finally get your case settled. You finally get some money to do a roof, and then they bail on you. All right, the village has certain costs they have to deal with in order to release these liens anyway, so they have some hard costs. I'll cut this one in half.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
$250 by, they'll give me a date, and if it doesn't get paid by that date, it reverts back to the $500.
Can you pay it by July 11th?
Yes. Do I come here to pay it?
Yeah, you can't pay it though until I sign the order on Monday or Tuesday, but yeah, you come back probably to code enforcement, right?
Okay, thank you.
Get an order in the mail.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, sub S, yeah, you're back.
24-0005, 1309 Savoy Yard Way, SRP SUB LLC.
I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2 is the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
And the fine amount in this case, Special Magistrate, is $6,300.
All right, we know who you are, but tell us again.
Authorized agent of SRP sub LLC.
Okay, and the $64,000 question, which no one knows what that means. It was some old TV show that I never saw. Why should the fine be reduced?
So we actively were trying to get this case resolved, but it was majorly due to the resident's defiance, and we really weren't able to get it resolved until the resident moved out of the home, which was in the end of February this year.
Okay, and do you have a proposed reduction amount? Because I'm going to ask the same question of them.
1,000.
Okay, well, that's 1/6. What's that, about 15%?
So we're not opposed to reduction in this case. The difficulty for the village is that it's not the village's problem, and most specifically, it's not the neighbor's problem that their tenants were less than ideal neighbors. So the residents in that neighborhood had to deal with the fact that this property remained out of compliance. So we're, again, not opposing reduction. We would be willing to reduce it to $2,075.58 payable by 7/11.
2075 point what?
5.8.
5.8. I had 8.8. See, I would have got you 30 cents more. 2075.58 by 711.
Does that include the admin costs as well?
That's everything,
Yes, that's fine.
which is about 2/3 off.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Any more for you? Or are you done?
That'll be it. Have a great evening.
Thank you, July 11th. Next, Special Magistrate, there are several cases under the same ownership. Would you like me to call them in all at once, and then you can rule on
The
them
fun part.
individually?
Let's do them all. That's
All right.
someone's leaping up. Who's leaping
Case
up?
16-1770-11845 Balsam Drive, Juana M. Machado and Orlando Pease. The fine amount in that case is $4,500. Case 18-0945, 11845 Balsam Drive, Juana M. Machado and Orlando Pease. The fine amount in that case is $17,825. Case 21-1062, 11845 Balsam Drive, Juana M. Machado and Orlando Pease. The fine amount in this case is $23,050. Case 22-1755, 11845 Balsam Drive, Juana M. Machado Estate, Sonia L. Bachara, Minerva Nall, Marika C. Pease, Orlando Pease, and Sandra Sabori. The fine amount in this case is $12,150. Case 23-0656, 11845 Balsam Drive, Juana M. Machado Estate, Sonia L. Bachara, Minerva Nall, Maria C. Pease, and Orlando Pease, and Sandra Sabori. And the fine amount in that one is $8,675.
All right, tell us who you are. I assume you're an attorney.
Good evening, Magistrate Dallin Vecchio, attorney on behalf of Israel Machado as personal representative of the state of Juana Machado.
All right, and spell your name, please.
Dallin, D-A-L-L-A-N, Vecchio, V as in victory, E-C-C-H-I-O.
Vecchio was so much easier. All right,
Gotten
is
that
that
once
your
or twice.
client with you? The PR?
Yes, hi. Good evening, Your Honor. Elizabeth DeArmas on behalf of the other co-owners. Originally, the estate of Orlando Peace, now Sonia Bachara, Minerva Nall, Maria Peace, Orlando Peace, Sandra Sabori.
All right, so we've got 2 estates now, I guess.
2 estates, co-owners.
Like, okay, she died. I was
Individuals who
like,
passed away,
it's
both
like
co-owners.
16, 18, 21, so they're like skipping a year in between violations, and then by 22 is
They've been
Juana Machado's
deceased.
estate, so she passed, and I don't know where in Orlando did because he's still not showing up as an estate
He
yet.
passed, too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
both passed.
So just in a significant point, all the fines were assessed after both of the co-owners were deceased. So they were, passed away, probably be when the fine or violation hearings were even
All right,
going on as well.
now
too.
Ask you that we halt and get the exhibits into the record first,
Sure.
and then have them present their case, please?
Sure, they wanted to put some paperwork in.
Just so you have the documents in front of you to look at.
Sure.
Your Honor, Special Magistrate, I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership.
And that's for all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Walker, do we have the authorization from the prior owner in the file for the magistrate?
Yes, I sent it to you. Did you have a chance to look at it?
Yep, it's fine. So if we can give that to him, just so he's clear, I think both of these individuals represent the prior owners. We have documentation from the current owner that they're able to be here on their behalf.
Okay. Now, when did these people pass?
So, let's see here.
I'm just looking at the 2000s.
Orlando Pease passed away in January 25, 2008, and Juana Machado passed away on July 3rd, 2016.
Okay, so right before the first one.
Yes.
All right, and I take it the property was not,
So it was rented out with some friends for a short period of time, like right after their passing, just really so it wasn't vacant for some period of time. But it was only for a short period of time. After that, it was vacant. And like I was saying, the probate estates were ongoing, and now actually where the property was also in litigation to be sold as well too. So the heirs from both sides have kind of been disputing as to, who should pay for what and what interest and what have you. It's a partition action.
Ooh, I've done one of those. They're fun.
It's about the closest thing to family law and civil as you can get.
Yeah.
And so now really at this point, we're just, trying to, I guess, mitigate these fines so that the heirs can really get the most out of their parents' assets from the estate. Like I was saying, all the violations occurred after her death. The heirs didn't receive notice, and, it would be difficult to receive notice if you were passed away already. The severity of these violations aren't extreme. I mean, a lot of them deal with like overgrown grass or, sidewalks being stained, vehicles parked on the front lawns. And I understand the aesthetics side of things as well. I'm not trying to discredit that in any way. But really, there was no money in the state even to pay the fines or to, bring them into compliance. They are all now in compliance, and the heirs had to come out of pocket for that. And, really paying the full amount of fines would, create a hardship by significantly reducing the amount of assets available in the state and or that could be distributed to them.
Okay, well, I understand your side. The village's side is the neighbors still had to deal with this for an extremely long period of time, almost a decade, while this thing was going on.
I just want to be clear, too. I thought you said one of them passed away in 2025.
2016 and 2008.
2008, okay.
I think you heard January 25 of 2008.
Yeah, I think I heard that same thing too.
I'm just confused by what you said, but thank you.
Until I heard the 2008 part.
Down here, so I was looking at a few different things.
Problem, no, just
Its knowledge, as he indicated, the gravity of the violation is one of the things for you to consider, the actions taken to correct the violations, and also previous violations, and there have been 34 code enforcement cases against these owners on this property. So these are, as you well know, these are a frequent flyer in the code enforcement department. So as I said in the prior cases, although the owners were not, I guess, alive to deal with this, certainly their neighbors had to deal with all of this activity. So I'll note that for the record, and I'll note in the first case, it's a repeat violation, case 16-1770. So that's not the first time they were tagged for the same thing and brought to a hearing and fined. So while he indicates that the violations are not significant, I would expect if you live next door to this house, you may have a different opinion.
yeah, I would expect so.
From my understanding, these violations were done by routine. I'm not sure what the language or the term is referred to, but they were not complaints by the neighbors. From my understanding, at least, if I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were routine drive-bys where they saw that.
Well, I don't know, and quite frankly, until they changed the law, you could have had people calling in anonymously on these properties.
Right.
You could have people calling in telling us who they were, and they were not happy with it.
Yes.
It's just I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cases. It's a lot of stuff someone had to put up with next door. And I'm talking about a decade of this. And I understand the heirs want to maximize their output, but they don't get to maximize their output by stomping on the rights of the existing citizens who are next door and in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
It's like, the rats and the other critters don't care whether or not you're getting maximum payments out.
It's actually 20 years. They owned the property since 2004, and the last case was a 23 case that complied in 24. So that's 20 years of ownership on the site by these individuals.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm more concerned with the 16-1770 case that they're trying to, reduce. I mean, that shows a decade almost. We're in 2025, and that's 16. It's 9 years past.
Well, no, that one, the 177 is my understanding, there was only 18 days not in compliance.
It wouldn't be $4,500 for 18 days. We don't do that here.
I have the order right here that says that.
It was a repeat violation, so
So it was like hundreds of dollars each day accruing for the 18 days.
Okay, well, we did that, huh? Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so,
I have the order assessing right here. It says, the repeat violation which existed on the property from August 26, 2016 through September 12, 2016, a total of 18 days.
okay.
At $250 per day.
Oh, it wasn't 500, it's 250.
requested.
Half of what they could, all right. Be that as it may, let's hear some numbers from Peoples. What are your requests on these cases?
I mean, so the first one is, I think, only a couple of $286. We're fine with.
No, we're not.
We're paying that. I'm saying that's going to be paid, not
That's not
requesting.
even on my docket.
Okay.
What's on my docket are
I was just
16,
clarifying, we're not even
18,
requesting that.
21, a 22, and a 23, the smallest of which is the 16, and that's $4,500, and it escalates from there. So what are your positions, or what are your requests for reduction?
I would request, so really I'm dealing more with the first three, and Ms. DeArmas is dealing with the last three.
Well, give me your three numbers.
So I would say 10% for the 10% of the 4,500 amount, and as well as for the 17,825 or amount.
Okay, so you're at 10%. All right. Now we get to the last two cases.
Yes, Your Honor. In these cases, I would request, as it's up to your discretion, of course, the city's discretion, but here the issues, and I believe I was in contact with the investigator. One of the issues was that the paint on the property was stained. We attempted to match the paint. We were unable to match the paint, so we had to repaint the home. I explained that the home was under contract. We were attempting to sell the property. The property was sold. These funds are being held in escrow to distribute as soon as you've made a determination. But again, there were issues with the soffit, which the beneficiary themselves went, this was all out of pocket. They themselves went, fixed it themselves. They did the pressure cleaning. They repaired the gate, and they completely repainted the home because I believe the inspector said it didn't match. When we attempted to match the paint, it was so many years that they couldn't get the paint right. So this is the only asset of the estate. The estate was insolvent. There was no money to make these repairs. And while the property was in litigation, the beneficiaries basically did what they could out of pocket.
And the litigation was between the beneficiaries? So they were fighting with each other about not paying for these things or paying for these things? And who gets what out of the estate to this?
Just about the ownership of the property, because the parties were not married. So it was a relationship, but they were not married.
So now we have all that background down. What is your number for those last two cases?
I'm sorry?
What is your proposals for those last two cases?
For the last, mine are the last three, 21, case 21,
No,
which
I'm going for, he said three, he gave me three numbers. I'm taking you on the 22 and the 23.
He also has 21, or don't you also have 21?
Oh, 21, is that for you?
No,
I thought that's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. The issue here was that during the probate case, the probate judge authorized the estate I was handling to have possession of the property for this period of time when the 21, 22, and 23 cases were the violations occurred. So that's why I was focused on those three. And
Okay, well, tell me what your numbers are for the last three. I can write down all these things.
I would request a 25% reduction for those. I spoke to Ms. Walker, and my understanding again were that these were not neighbors that were making a complaint. And I went personally to the property with my client to verify that repairs were done. They were. And I'm sorry that there was a delay. We attempted to get it done as soon as possible, but between the litigation and we were limited with the court's authority as to what we could actually do. The property had to be maintained vacant. We could not receive any tenants to maybe get some income to cover this. So it was a combination of things, but we would just ask for some consideration and
So are you saying 25%, or are you saying reduce, which means reduce it 75%, so it's 25% less, or what?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just, to clarify, I was saying 10% of the total amount is the offer.
I understand what you're saying. I don't understand what she's saying.
No, I'm saying 25% of the total amount is,
All right, so 25% is,
yes.
all right, he's at 10, you're at 25. Okay, I can deal with that.
Thank you.
It's making me do math. No, I'm not calling anybody.
Only because there's so many use percentages.
Yep, I'm just trying to figure.
And I can give you the village's number, Special Magistrate, if that's
Give me
helpful.
1 second here. I'm trying to figure out theirs, then I'll get yours, and then I'll have it compare, because
I mean, if the village is open to any kind of reduction, we'd
times
appreciate it.
25%
If that's possible.
equals, all right, so that's. All right, now I can handle the village's numbers. What does the village say?
In case 16-1770, we'll note again, it's a repeat violation. We're not opposing reduction. We would be amenable to reducing it to 1711.30 payable by July 11th. In case 18-0945, we're again not opposing reduction, but we would like the magistrate to strongly consider the number of cases against this property where we would be amenable to reducing this to $4,395.38 payable by July 11th. In 21-1062, again, we're not opposing reduction. We'd be willing to reduce this down to $5,509.66 payable by 7/11. In case 22-1755, again, we're not opposing reduction, but given the number of cases, we'd be requesting that you reduce this down to $3,269.62 payable by 7/11. And in the final case, 23-0656, again, we're not opposing reduction. We'd be amenable to reducing this down to $2,650.22 payable by 7/11.
Okay. Considering the large number of violations we've heard over the years and the decade that people had to deal with this, and probably had to deal with a little bit before that even started, I will go with the village's proposal. It's actually lower than one of yours on one of these. It's higher than his because he was at 10%. So if you were writing these down,
Yeah.
it was 1711.30 for case number 16-1770. It was, and she's checking these as my numbers go along, so make sure I get them right. On case number 18-945 was $4,395.38. On case number 21-1062, it is $5,509.66. That's actually less than you were asking for.
Yes, thank you.
In case number 22-1755 is $3,269.62, which is only $200 more than you were asking for. And the final one, it was $2,650.22, about $500 more.
And are all those payable by 7-Eleven?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So tell your title insurance company that sometime next week, they'll have an order that they can deal with.
They'll be happy to get this
Write a
matter
check
off.
to the village and then split it with the heirs, and everyone goes on with their lives.
The magistrate is holding the funds
Yeah.
to distribute.
Oh, we need the
It's actually, we had
magistrate
to have
even.
a special magistrate for the sale of the property, so
Oh, cool.
if that
Okay,
cleans some
well,
light
then you
in.
can have more. Gotcha. All right.
Thank you so much.
Granted, granted,
It's,
granted,
Could I just get
granted.
a verification on the second number?
The second number was 4395.38, I believe.
4395.
Correct.
Correct. Okay.
Thank you.
Normally, I sign these Monday, Tuesday. As you can see, we have quite an agenda. They have to prepare quite a few orders. All right, we have one more lien reduction. Are they here or no?
I don't believe they're here, no.
Can we go skip back to regular agenda?
So,
Is,
where's the order going to?
all right, has everyone been sworn in?
Is the order going to the property, or?
Well, yeah, the order is probably going to go to the address on the tax collector's roll, so you need to come and ask for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Send you copies.
Okay, thank you.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Are we doing page 2, 25-114 first? If we're taking them in order?
From the top, I mean, yeah.
From the top and get them all done.
All right, so going back through the agenda, starting on page 2, this is a fine assessment hearing, case 25-0114, 1357 Thornbank Lane, Herbert III and Javonda Porter.
I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay. Sir, your name? Thank you. Do they call you Trey?
Some people.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation with the return green card. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 3 is dated photographs of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
Since I take it as a fine assessment hearing, there's probably some small fine due. You have signed green card for service, by the way.
Thank you. This was out of compliance for 2 days, so we're asking for a $50 fine and not continuing.
Smallest fine I've ordered. $50.
Want to go with no fines. I tried to get this done before the Friday. I couldn't get the sod that day, so I called Andrew and spoke with Andrew and let him know ahead of time and told him that I would have it done by the next day. And I got the sod and I got it laid, and I made sure I gave him a call and let him know that it was taken care of.
All right, so he says he was in contact. He had ordered materials for remediation because the materials were coming late. And
I had to pick the sod up, actually, from the sod yard.
He couldn't get it on time. So does that affect you in any way? Put you on this hot seat here.
An order assessing no fine, it's cheaper just to move on at this point, sir.
See, look at what I did for you. Order of no fine is granted. Run away.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving to page 3, case 25-0102, 9930 Belvedere Road, Harbar RPB LLC.
Are we on 3?
I'm sorry?
What page are we on?
Page 3 in the middle, 25-0102.
Okay.
Following documents and evidence, Exhibit 1, order finding violation, Exhibit 2, verification ownership, Exhibit 3, pictures, Exhibit 4, AS400, permit information.
Your name, sir?
Vic Narine, Narine.
And your relation to
District manager,
the district manager and the other gentleman?
the store manager for the location.
His name is?
Scott Mizrahi, Mizrahi.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation. Page 2, along with the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3, dated photographs of the violation or violations. And Exhibit 4 is the village's permit information. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were showing me pictures of CVS.
I wasn't there yet, Special Magistrate. Now you're there.
Now you there? All right. All right, you have service via signed green card. Tell me all about it.
They have applied for their vegetation removal permit in order to remove the dead palm tree, which you can see in this photograph right here. And they have a few dead hedges along this area to remove as well. And then they need to restore everything to their landscape plan.
Okay. Your turn.
Yes, so we got to approve a proposal on April 30th, and the vendor had submitted that proposal for the city's approval, and we still have not, according to them, have not received it. Also, the proposal for the removal of the dead tree, as of today, we got an email here stating that it's still being reviewed and has not been approved yet.
All right, that being the vegetative removal permit? All right, that's the easier one.
They just applied for that vegetation removal.
Yeah, they just applied for a vegetation removal permit. That's fine.
Yeah, they just applied for it. It is in plan check, and I believe Diane sent you information this morning for payment.
You gotta pay
Yeah,
for
well,
it too.
all that, yeah, that's done through our corporate, and I guess they were in communication with you.
Yeah,
Margaret?
I believe she requested payment this morning from them, and it's in plan check with the arborist now, so.
Okay, so we'll take care of that one. That's the easy one. I'm just more concerned about the prior thing. You said there was some sort of plan modification or something going on there from somebody.
Apparently, there's a proposal that the landscaper has submitted to the city to get whatever it is, it needs to be corrected, and they're still waiting on approval for that.
See, that makes no sense to me. See, all you have to do is put back the same hedge without any more from the city unless you're going to try to change the hedge material or something else. All you have to do is put hedge. You know, all you're doing now is waiting for the vegetative removal permit, and all they're doing out there is counting trees to make sure you have a sufficient number left or whatever it is on the property. So I think you may have been misrepresented by your vendor there because they don't need approval for squat, really.
Well, I've been in touch with Troy, I believe. He's your landscaper with Heavenly Landscaper?
Yes.
So he had to get licensed with the village. So possibly that's what he was talking about. He
Right.
did get his, he says he obtained his BTR and has applied for the vegetation removal permit. I believe it was him I spoke to who said he had faxed it.
Yes.
And you don't fax that, you email it. So once he did it correctly, things have been moving properly.
And he submitted that on what date? You said?
Yeah.
So they submitted, but they submitted after your compliance date is the problem.
Yeah, they did that, and then the guy who's supposed to do the work
Is not registered with the village,
is
so.
not registered, which would have been the easiest thing in the world to register, because if he's registered anywhere else, all he has to do is throw a couple more dollars at the village and he's there. So,
This is a fine assessment. We're asking for the fine to start running. It sounds like since they've got documents in now that things will move, but to keep them moving forward, your previous order required compliance by May 29th, so we're asking for a fine of $325 and continuing. That's 13 days of noncompliance.
you'll be happy to know I was in there yesterday getting a battery from Scott. He didn't recognize me. Please let the record reflect I didn't throw my weight around. Didn't say who I was. I was just a dude with a battery, dead one. So it's like, hopefully that'll help chip away at the fine. All right, 325 plus continuing is granted. Get someone ready with
Thank
the
you.
chainsaw to whack the tree down the second that thing's done. Really, your vendor just has to smack in some of the same plants that are in that hedge into the gaps, and you're done. And you call for an inspection and the fine stops. And at $25 a day, you are facing one of the cheapest fines in Palm Beach County. A lot of these places go $200, $300, $500 on the regular, so. And it'll make it look better.
Okay.
Like, let the Goodwill look better than you, right?
No.
That's our next door neighbor, by the way. Okay. 325 plus continuing is granted. I'll buy more batteries from you.
Going to page 4, violation hearings, 25-0320, 149 Valencia Street, Brett Reeder.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 26-57, a canopy without a permit. I observed the violation on 4/2/25. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/3/25 and posted. Would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Your name, sir?
Brett Reeder.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of violation and notice of hearing, the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, the notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property, and Exhibit 3 is a dated photograph of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No.
Thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. You must love your boat. 25 years, loved that thing until I got rid of it. So happy when I did. But I had already burnt myself out on being in the ocean for like decades.
I'm close to there.
All right, so the problem here is hurricanes. I mean, you'd have to get this thing engineered and permitted if you were going to.
Structure.
It is a structure within the village's definition of structures. And the problem is if it gets into a decent storm, and for some reason the state of Florida is now a tornado state when we didn't used to be, that thing will fly and it'll fly into someone's home.
Come off of it within like 10 minutes.
That's not the problem. The problem is having someone responsible enough to take the tarp off in 10 minutes. And the village's elders decided that the safest and easiest way to make sure that happens is not permitting these things unless they are like literally permitted and engineered. This is probably also in a setback. What other problems do we have with it, council?
It's in the setback. It's got enough.
Everyone has a side setback. It looks like you're at least encroaching in part of it. And is there any other issues with the
No, that setback issue will be evaluated when the permit is applied for, but it's been cited for not having a permit for the structure.
And are these things permittable in the village?
That review will be done when the application is submitted. Depends on where it's located, whether it can be there.
It can be permitted, but it requires all kinds of stuff, right? I'm just trying to get the general.
And we don't know what the material is. Nobody's done an inspection of it, so
I
that has to be done as part of the
understand all the
application.
particulars. I'm just saying, can you permit a canopy in the village?
We have had canopies permitted.
Good. So you can do it, but it's a real struggle.
Dealing with the permit and everything.
So, see, here's my problem. You're trying, you're responsible, but the problem is hurricane season, which started a week and a half ago. And, how long are you giving them?
We were asking for compliance by June 26th or appearance at the 8/13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
And Special Magistrate, they have submitted a permit. It's in plan check.
I'm trying, if we're not going to be here till 8/13 for the hearing, I almost have to give him a little more time to try to get it through. I mean, if he's denied, he's denied. He's got to remove it, right? Let's give him till mid-July,
15th?
15th, if that's a regular day. You all check those things, make sure it's not a weekend.
The 11th wasn't, so I don't think it is. 'Tuesday.
7/15. All right, I bought you a couple more weeks to try to get your permit through. And if it doesn't, maybe facing a fine. If it does, hopefully you'll get it through, but I have a feeling you might have issues because of where it's located. Okay?
You can't have it anywhere.
The only place you can put the boat is either in the driveway or on the side of the house. So that's the problem. And the problem with the side of the house is, there's setbacks.
He's very respectful. It's his first home, so we're
Trying to, I understand that, and, the problem is, there's not a respectful exception, because there's got to be people out there like, oh, I'll take it down, and you look at the storm, and it's in the neighbor's pool.
So you can have something there if it's hurricane-proof, then is what you're saying?
You can have something there. The way they've answered it is these have been permitted, so it's a possibility.
In the neighborhood that's the only reason why I put it there.
Yeah, the problem is I can guarantee you that most of the ones in your neighborhood are unpermitted. So, and it's like I hate to throw your neighbor under the bus thing, because, they aren't out there looking for these things normally. I mean, because if they were looking for these things, all your neighbors would be cited too. So this is either too big or someone complained. So you have until the 15th to go through your permitting. Hopefully you'll get something out of them. And if not, we'll see you again in August.
If the permit doesn't go through and it gets denied and I just take it down, do I still have to come through here?
No, what you have to do though is, if you take it down before 7/15, you make sure that the code inspector goes by to confirm it, and then you're cool.
Okay.
Call the code enforcement department and ask him to come inspect it when you take it
I
down.
have Andrew's number.
That's the whole thing. I mean, if it's the 14th, and they said, oh, you got to go through a variance hearing, you may want to take it down and just store it until you go through the process to see if you can put it back up.
And to note, Andrew's been very good to us. He's been kind of...
As I always like to say, the village wants you to just be in compliance. They're not in this for the harassment or the money part of it. They're just trying to make everyone safe. And it's like all the fine reductions, it's like, oh, we just didn't cut the grass. Well, that's where the rats grow. And so I would wait till he gets at least indications. That's why I bought him some more time, so he doesn't have to rush out and do that right now. But, if you're looking in mid-July, then you should sort of prepare yourself for it. Fortunately, we're in the early part of the season. It's not the good August, September storms. So enjoy your boat, bro.
Thank you.
I love mine. Loved it to death. Probably did 500 to 700 dives.
Which one are you? Are you page 8?
Guys, don't buy lotto tickets.
Magistrate, it's Case 25-0381, 10629 Acme Road, Main Street at Tuttle Royale LLC.
What page, please? I missed the page number.
Page 8 in the middle. 25-0381.
06198.5, 6195, sidewalk is lifted, sidewalk is stained, grass and weeds are growing into the sidewalk. I observed this violation on 4/21/25, sent out notice of violation with a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/22/25, and I posted these to the property. I'd like to know the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, sir, tell us who you are.
Benke.
Spell your last name, Christopher.
I'm sorry, D-E, excuse me, capital B-E-H-N-K-E.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the affidavit of service for the notice of hearing and the notice of violation. The notice of violation itself. The notice of hearing for tonight's hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3, dated photographs of violations. Any objection to these documents being entered?
Nope.
There it is.
Okay. Wonder if we can find those guys with the inject the plastic stuff underneath the. I see their commercials. It looks really interesting. It's like, yeah, this is like spray can except big. All right. So what do you want from them other than fixing it? When do you want it fixed?
We want them to fix the sidewalk and we want them to take the grass off the sidewalk.
Yes. They need to grind.
Kind of tripping hazard there.
They need to grind that down. It needs cleaned. And I spoke to Chris earlier today. He says that they did do everything today with the grinding of that area and spraying it. With that, I would imagine the grass would be removed there as well.
Yes.
And then I spoke with Mr. Tuttle personally yesterday and pointed out this area right here and another one over here where the sidewalk is broken, which is still the same code section. So he claims that, Chris said that they did arrange to have that done next week, but the other issues, the tripping hazard and the staining, was taken care of today, although my pictures are from yesterday.
All right, so you're going to go out and re-inspect that just to make sure that the trip portion is good, has been fixed.
Do you want
Yes,
pictures?
photos.
I took pictures just if you want to see them or.
No,
it
I love
doesn't-
seeing pictures. We can go look.
Do-
If you don't want to show them, give it back. Yeah, give it back. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes a picture is bad. 1,000 words is sometimes good or bad. All right. What time frames are you going to request for these so he has some chance to fix them?
Compliance by 6/26 or appearance at the 7/9 fine hearing or $75 a day fine.
They're saying June 26th. Is that a doable thing for you?
That's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because you guys probably have construction guys running around there.
We do, but like you guys have pointed out, everybody's been really helpful. So it's plenty of time. So thank you very much. And coming out and showing us directly, that's.
Yes. And I wish Mr. Tuttle would have contacted me earlier. I tried to talk to him. I will give you my card.
I will, this is, was just given to me the last week, and I will be your direct point person.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
All right, 6/26, 7/9/25?
75, because it's dangerous.
Yes.
Thank you.
Get Margaret's card. You'll be her buddy.
Now we're going to the final page of the agenda. It's the last fine mitigation case, 23-0741, 869 Hibiscus Drive, Starker Holding LLC.
Ah. Okay.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Victor Gomez, Gomec, please.
Oh, Gomez.
Well, sometimes you have it with S, so.
And what's your relation to the LLC, Mr.?
I'm the property manager.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Was your last name Lopez? Is that what you said?
Gomez, please.
Gomez, I'm sorry.
Gonzalez, Fernandez, that's like the Miami trio.
Way out of my head, so sorry about that.
That's all right. I dated a whole bunch of girls named Maria when I was growing up in South Miami.
The special magistrate is $950.
Okay.
I would like to, Special Master, I would like to submit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Fine be reduced.
I'm sorry?
Why should the fine be reduced?
So it was a job site unpermitted. We did have our fine, which we paid 4 times. Sorry, it's getting too loud. We paid 4 times the permit. We submit the permit right away. But at that time, there was a person, I guess, on the building department that she was requesting something different on the permits, which wasn't normal. She wanted to have like all the description at the top on the permit and also all the description at the bottom. We went there 3 times with the lady, which was where we submitted the permit. So in one time she even wrote it like right away, so exactly how she wanted, because that was always a denial. And we submitted that way, and it was still denied until I guess she was fired or she quit. I don't know at that time. So at that time I came with you, and you told me like, because your colleagues were telling like, yeah, we have these and these issues. So at that time you told me, okay, I'm gonna put you a small fine, and when you have the hearing, you come with me and I will help you with the lien reduction.
Okay. See, I don't even want to know who. What's the village's position?
When given the fine amount, special magistrate, we're opposing reduction just because it cost the village way more than that fine amount to get through this whole process.
$475 by 711. I gave you half.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Does anyone need a break, or we just need to go on? It's up to you people. It's up to you. That's why I said.
In there?
Let's take a 5-minute. See, that's why I left it up to you. I don't mind. I'd sit here with my legs crossed. I'm good. No? track me down, all I have to do is follow me home. Were you magistrating? West Palm is a little difficult sometimes. All right, we're back on, and we're picking up on page 1 and...
Assessment hearing, status/fine assessment hearings, case 25-0185, 108 Park Road North, Chandrawati and Kemraj Samwaru and Chandrawati and Kemraj Samwaru Trust, and Kemraj Samwaru et al. Trust title holders.
Gotcha. Signed green card equals service. What's this all about?
Special Magistrate, I would like to admit the following items into evidence. The previous notice of violation and notice of hearing. That was Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, Exhibit 3, photos, and Exhibit 4, AS400 permit info.
And I take it do they have a permit or not?
This is still out of compliance. This was set by you, obviously, as a status/fine, but the respondent is not present. So given that, we're asking for you to start a fine running at 3:25 and continuing. Your prior order required compliance by 5:30. It's been out for 13 days.
325 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you. Fine assessment hearings 25-00.
Service via signed green card, by the way.
Thank you. Fine assessment hearings 25-0075, 10230 Rhythm Circle, Michael C. Hudson.
Minutes of the March hearing, before I forget.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
All right, you have an affidavit of posting, so you have service. What's wrong with this one?
Special Magistrate, it's been out of compliance for 41 days. Staining issues on the structure and the driveway.
And a section of the sidewalk, too. Yep, okay.
And the driveway has complied, so that's section 6190A3. Your order will reflect that continues to comply.
Driveway?
Driveway apron, yes.
All right, is a finding.
It is a fine assessment hearing, so your order will just say they continue to comply. They came into compliance, but they need to continue to comply. And then the remainder.
The rest of it is 325 or?
No, it was out for 41 days, so it's 1,025 and continuing.
Have a finding of fact on the driveway apron portion of the property, along with a $1,025 fine for the rest of it, service via posting. Next, please.
25-0088, 1426 Ryan Lane, Eduardo H. Zazzarini.
I'd like to submit the following documents in evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures. And Exhibit 4 is an affidavit of compliance.
All right, you have service via an affidavit of service. I skipped to the end and looked at the affidavit, so that's kind of cheating, but finding a fact? Or is
This
it a
one's
fine?
actually a fine. It was out of compliance for 29 days, so $725 and not continuing.
725, no continuing is granted.
25-0150, 104 Brookwood Avenue, Mary L. Rabel and Maxime A. Colon.
I'd like to submit the following documents in evidence. Exhibit 1 is an order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
All right, a return green card is service. We have a stained driveway and other things. How many days, how many dollars?
Public view, which is, or garbage can not screened, 124C is continue to comply. That's complied. The other code sections, it's been out of compliance for 41 days, so $1,025 and continuing.
1025 plus continuing is granted. I'm not used to the 41 days. I'm a 15-day guy.
25-0159, 103 Oxford Court, Carol Y. Espada Estate.
I'd like to submit the following documents of evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
All right, signed, well, actually posting is service. All right, how much is this?
This one's the same thing, 41 days, so $1,025 and continuing.
My new math. Someone asked me what's 14 41 times 25 is 1,025.
1,025, that's right.
Plus continuing is granted.
Thank you. 25-0188, 1009 North State Road 7, 1009 Enterprises LLC.
I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is an order finding violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is a verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
That was a lot of signs, too. You had posting for your service. What would you like?
What's that, 125 and not continuing?
Yes.
Make me do math on the fly here. It's been out of compliance for 5 days, so 125 and not continuing.
Hard math. 125, no continuing is granted.
Thank you. 25. I asked my math teachers, they would probably disagree with you. 25-0239, 1329 West Side Way, Joseph and Marie Terrasant Gulam.
I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
It's like Robert Guillaume was a famous actor in some sitcom, I remember. All right, you have service via what? I don't have something.
There's a signed green card.
Oh. I don't see it, though.
No? There's also USPS tracking in the case file, but there is a signed
I'll take
green
that,
card.
too. Oh, here's your USPS tracking. All right, you have service via USPS tracking confirm. What's this one?
This one was out of compliance for 13 days at $25, so $325 and continuing.
325 plus continuing is granted.
25-0249, 208 Palm Beach Trace Drive, Wilson G. Rodriguez and Maria A. Pelias Tirado.
I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures. Exhibit 4 is the AS400 permit information. And Exhibit 5 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay, do we have a fine in this one?
Yes, this one complied on June 9th, so the fine ran for 10 days, $250 and not continuing.
No continuing is granted.
25-0112, 1101 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, Royal Palm Beach Boulevard LLC.
Don't have a file for that one. Why? Anthony's arranging his life back there in chairs. Steps in.
Special Master, I'd like to admit the, Special Master, the code section is 6190, A15, 6195.
Was it fine assessment? Yeah, you can go to the other
Sorry.
part.
I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Previous order finding violation. Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos.
See, this is what I was looking at earlier. See the CVS driveway and the Burger King. Okay. You have signed green card for service. What would you like?
This one's been out of compliance for 13 days, so we're asking for a fine of $325 and continuing.
All right. All right, granted.
25-0157, 158 Cordoba Circle, Ricardo Espinosa.
Already have that written down.
Special Master, I'd like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation and the affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
All right, service via posting. What would you like?
Compliance for 13 days, $325 and continuing.
Well, it says sidewalk in disrepair. That means sidewalk in disappeared.
25-0139, 160 Dove Circle, Michael R. and Nina M. Martin.
All right, we're working on it.
I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
But that's the village's tree.
Huh?
But that's the village's
It's right
tree.
there. Yeah, well, no, it's not the village's tree, it's their tree. and they need to remove it.
Okay, you have service via posting. What would you like?
Been out of compliance for 13 days, so a fine of $325 and continuing.
325 plus continuing is granted.
25-0227, 223 Sandpiper Avenue, FKH SFR Propco B HLD LP.
I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order finding violation, USPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. Exhibit 4, AS400 permit information.
Signed green card and a USPS tracking confirmed because one's not enough.
No.
This one was out of compliance for 13 days, so 325 and continuing.
Granted.
Thank you.
Violation hearings 25-0306, 149 Lexington Drive, Monty A. Maurer.
Monty Maher.
Special Magistrate, the code section is 6-190A1, 6-190H, 14.2, 14.4A, and 23-16. Stained structure, plywood over the window, miscellaneous items, disabled vehicle, and the vehicle parked in the street not moving every 24 hours. I observed the violation on 3/25/25. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 3/25 and returned on 4/1. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership.
Bless you.
And Exhibit 3 are the pictures. Bless you.
All right. 149.
And for the record, Special Magistrate, the reason why it's a disabled vehicle is because that's a flat tire.
Oh, I'm on the flat tire
Okay.
picture. I mean, that's easy and obvious for me. I was
Okay.
staring at that one, so no, not a problem.
At certain angles, it's hard to tell, but
Now, you have you have a return green card, so you have service. What would you like on this one?
Compliance by 6/26 or appearance at the 7/9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
25-0321, 10079 Patience Lane, Ileana R. Rivero and Roberto J. Ferrer. Melina Ferrer, I'm sorry, there's another name.
Code Section 6-190A13, stained driveway and walkway. I observed the violation on 4/2/25. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent on 4/3/25 and posted. Would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
Have an affidavit of posting. Would you like?
Compliance by June 26th or appearance at the August 13th fine hearing or $25 a day fine. 25-0322, 10390 Oliver Lane, Calvin E. Sandin Jr.
Code Section 23-18B2, an open trailer not screened to code. I observed the violation on 4/2/25. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent on 4/3/25 and returned on 4/15. Would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
You know, I used to think that if you ship Dina in the middle of the night and start spouting that, Andrew's getting it.
Mm-hmm.
You have a return green card for service. What would you like?
Finding of fact, right?
Finding of fact is great.
Yes, correct.
Thank you. 25-0326, 153 Waterway Road. Did we already know that they were there, but they weren't there?
Yes,
Yeah, I'm sorry. 153 Waterway Road, J. Lavoy.
Code Section 6-190A1 and screening closure and disrepair. I observed the violation on 4/4/25. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/7/25 and posted. Would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Notice of violation, notice of hearing with an affidavit of service is Exhibit 1. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is the pictures. And Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
All right, you have service via posting. Quick story, I'm out playing golf in PGA National right after Francis and Jeannie. Someone finally got their screen enclosure repaired a couple weeks before Wilma. This is life in South Florida. Fix your screens after hurricane season. All right, you have service. What would you like?
Finding of fact, please. 25-0329, 107 Meadowwood Drive, Scott N. Bishop and Valeria Geraldo.
Code Section 26 26-57, shed-in-place structure without a permit. I observed the violation on 4/4/25. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent on 4/7/25. Would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 is the pictures, and Exhibit 4 is the AS 400 permit information. The permit's still in plan check, but they have applied.
All right, service via posting, what are our times here?
Compliance by 7:31 or appearance at the August 13th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
25-0330-1343 Elm Bank Way, Lee Z. Liang and Amy Liang Trust.
Code section 15-142 and 15-132, bare spots in the front yard, bare spots in the swale. I observed the violation on 4/4/25. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent out on 4/7/25 and returned on 4/22. Would like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3 are the pictures.
All right, service via signed green card. This is what happens when you have a single car driveway and multiple car family.
Compliance by 6/26 or appearance at the July 9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
6/26,
7/9/25.
5 is granted.
25-0281, 1402 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, and that should be number 600, Special Magistrate Orion Bantry, LLC.
Speed code section 622-108.4 for work without permit. I observed this violation on 3/14/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 3/14/25 and was returned on 3/17/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, AS 400 permit information.
All right, signed green card equals service. What would you like?
Compliance by 7/31 or appearance at the August 13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Got a whole page of stuff now.
25-0282, 1192 Royal Palm Beach Boulevard, 33, Crossroads R2G owner, LLC.
Speed code section 20-41 for prohibited signs. I observed the violation on 3/14/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 3/14/25 and returned on 3/20/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, photos.
So the signed green card or the stamped green card looked like a smiley face to me when I was looking at it. It's like,
There was another one that I showed a respondent that looked the same way. I thought the same thing.
that's the smiley, no, that's just the circle.
It's the
Okay,
circle,
it's real
yeah.
close. All right, so bad sign, you've got service, what would you like?
Compliance by June 26 or appearance at the July 9 fine hearing or $50 a day fine.
7950 is granted.
Thank you. 25-0303, 699 Hibiscus Drive, Rosneil Santana Powell.
This would be code section 14.2. Description would be they were storing miscellaneous items on the property. I observed the violation on 3/24/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 3/24/25 and posted on 5/1/25. I would like to admit the following items in evidence: a notice of violation, notice of hearing, and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos.
Very vibrant color on the house. You have service via posting, what would you like?
July 31st or appearance at the August 13th fine hearing or $25 a day fine. 25-0315, 222 Kingfisher Way, Verse at Royal Palm Beach, LP.
20-41 for prohibited signs. I observed the violation on 4/1/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 4/1/25 and returned on 4/4/25. I would like to admit the following items into evidence: a notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership, and Exhibit 3, photos.
So they've renamed it and they haven't re-monumented it. You have a signed green card for service, what would you like?
June 26 or appearance at the July 9 fine hearing or a $50 a day fine.
All right, 626, 7950 is granted.
25-0354, 132 Park Road North, Militia J. and Ronald W. Mills.
Code section 2318, paren B2. RV parked in the backyard. I observed the violation on 4/15/25. Certified mail was met out on 4/15/25 and returned on 4/19/25. I would like to admit the following items in the evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, an affidavit of compliance.
I was like, they got it all the way back there. All I did is pull a little further forward. All right, signed green card equals service. Is this a finding of fact?
Yes, sir.
Granted.
Thank you. 25-0356, 763 Hibiscus Drive, Palm Beach County.
This code section would be 2318, paren B1A, for a prohibited vehicle. Observed the violation on 4/16/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 4/16/25 and returned on 4/23/25. I would like to omit the following items in the evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
Usually I can tell what kind of truck that is, but this one looks sort of Frankenstein. You have a signed green card for service. What would you like?
Finding of fact.
Granted.
25-0363, 723 Hibiscus Drive, Julian Skull, Mendoza.
This will be code section 2657, paren B4 for the shed and a setback. I observed the violation on 4/16/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 4/16/25 and returned back on 4/26/25. I would like to omit the following items in the evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, photos. And Exhibit 4, an affidavit of compliance.
Okay, I'm doing a finding of fact, right? Because I've already written it down.
Yes, sir.
Yay. All right, granted.
25-0420, 137 Cordoba Circle, Adina J. Terry.
This will be code section 06190, paren A1 for structure stained. I observed the violation on 5/2/25. Certified mail was mailed out on 5/2/25 and returned on 5/6/25. I would like to omit the following items into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 3, photos.
Well, at least I moved the garbage can. All right, you have a signed green card for service. What would you like on the painting?
Compliance by July 31st or appearance at the August 13th fine hearing or $25 a day fine. 25-0297, 1061 Moonlight Way, Sean D. and Rosalia M. Tyler.
Oh, look at that. Who's snuck in front of me?
Sneaky. Code sections 1540, 06190, A135, 06135. Grass and weeds are growing onto the sidewalk. Sidewalk and structure are stained. House numbers not posted. Planting areas not maintained of grass and weeds. I observed this violation on 3/21/25, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing on 3/21/25. I got the green card not signed on 4/2/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
This is a law school exam question. How many things can you cram into one subject?
A lot.
Got a lot. You have a signed green card for service. What would you like?
Compliance by July 31st or appearance at the August 13th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
There was more, but they did take care of some stuff. Yeah. Correct.
25-0300, 123 Meadowlark Drive, Aranci Cordero.
Code sections 15141A1, lawn has bare areas. I observed this violation on 3/24/25, sent out notice of violation, notice of hearing, certified mail on 3/24/25. I got the green card back on 4/2/25. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Return green card equals service. What would you like?
Compliance by July 31st or appearance at the August 13th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Season should take care of that problem. Got a month and a half for it to go. All right, next, please.
25-0339, 230 Business Parkway, Northwood 26 LLC.
Code section 2693, 275, and 2349A6. Vehicles are being stored in the parking lot overnight against their special exception use is violated. I observed this violation on 4/5/25, sent out notice of violation with the notice of hearing on 4/11/25. They signed it on 4/14/25. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Signed green card Equal Service. What would you like?
Compliance by June 26 or appearance at the July 9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
626, 7925, granted.
Thank you.
5-0340, 170 Business Parkway, 170 Business Parkway LLC.
Code Section 06195, the dumpster enclosure is stained and bare areas of the lawn has no grass. I observed this violation on 4/5/25, sent out a notice of violation with a notice of hearing on 4/11/25, and posted it to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
Posting equal service, they could also clean up the fronds, too.
Yeah.
All right, on this one,
Compliance by 6/26 or appearance at the 7/9 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Thank you.
25-0348, 127 J Court, Clifford Chippy and K.E. Harrison.
Code Section 0619A1235, 144A, 2318B1. Painted sidewalk area, sidewalk is stained, disabled vehicle, prohibited vehicle, and driveway not uniform in color. I observed this violation on 4/2/25, sent out a notice of violation and a notice of hearing certified mail on 4/11/25, and posted both of those to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
I've never even heard of J Court.
Didn't know Willows.
Willows, okay. Affidavit of service is service. What would you like?
Compliance by July 31st or appearance at the August 13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
25-0350, 8970 Belvedere Road, CubeSmart LP, PTA CS number 413.
Code Section 2-75, painted the exterior of the building without AAR approval. I observed this violation on 4/15/25, sent out a notice of violation with a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/15/25. They signed for it on 4/20/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification of ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures. And Exhibit 4 is the previous AAR approval from 2015 of the approved colors, which are not these colors.
No, the approved colors are a nice selection of neutral tones that are very lovely.
Browns.
The others just stark white.
And gray and red.
A little bit of gray, but mainly just
I mean, it looks nice, but they need approval.
well, you go through all the expense of getting a site plan. Why follow it? Sign green card equals service. What would you like?
Compliance by July 31st or appearance at the August 13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
25-0385, 326 La Mancha Avenue, Nicholas and Janet Fabra.
Code Section 06190A1 and H, 15132 and 1557. Shutters are closed, structure is stained, dead palm fronds, grass and weeds exceed height allowed. I observed the violation on 4/22/25, sent out a notice of violation with a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/23/25, and I got USPS tracking saying it was delivered on 4/25/25. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, USPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
USPS tracking confirmed. I'm just trying to look through the fence and they look like either lobster traps or chairs on their side.
Chairs.
Like, oh, let's block that off with chairs. All right, what'd you like on this one?
Special Magistrate 1557, which is the grass and weeds exceed the height allowed, is a finding of fact. And for the remaining code sections, we're asking for compliance by July 31st or appearance at the August 13 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
25-0401, 500 North State Road 7, Coral Sky Retail LLC.
Code Section 2661G, 2349A6, 1254. Shipping containers, pods, building material, dumpster and equipment without permit and stored outside of building and parking spaces, trash and debris by loading dock. I observed this violation on 4/26/25, sent out a notice of violation with a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/26/25. I have USPS tracking that was delivered on 4/30/25. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, notice of hearing, USPS tracking. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
They're very busy. I'm kind of jealous of the guy who gets his mail in Key West. You have service by USPS Track and Confirm. And you know, we haven't had one pulled case here.
I know, yeah, I just thought of that too.
Like, just an oddball thing. Normally there's at least one, but no, we're gonna do every darn one of them. We're not gonna miss one at all.
I think we've done lots of cases.
This one, we're asking for compliance by June 26th or appearance at the July 9 fine hearing or $75 a day fine.
626-7975, just to keep it all different. And is that it? We don't have an addenda, and I think we've run out of everything else.
Were there minutes?
Oh. Andrew.
What minutes were
I'm
signed?
blaming Andrew.
The March minutes, I
March
believe.
minutes.
Yeah.
All right, is there anything else we brought before the special
We'll have to make sure we have to have both of them on July. But we're going to need both for last hearings? Okay, minutes need to be signed. Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
I'll take note of that.
If you drag this out long enough, it'll be exactly 8:30. We've got like 20 seconds.
You can sit here if you like. I'm going.
Take my stack.
I've been here all day, though.
It's like, look at her. She's now like on her total height, on her tippy toes, because like she slid in here and dropped us off without us seeing. All right, we are adjourned. It's 8:30. See, I strung it out to 8:30.